Hello, magnificent human beings. You are in the right place, capable and strong. So, we left off with our bends section. Let's get into our warrior series. So, it's good to find yourself in downward facing dog. So, first you come into a crescent lunge. So, take your right foot and bring it on up into crescent lunge. I'm just gonna leave my hands on my hips here so I can talk just for a second. So obviously crescent lunge, right knee above that ankle, high on the back ball of that foot. And you're holding your crescent lunge just for a little bit, but to come into warrior two, you actually ground down that back heel and extend your arms out. So as you do this process, you're going to notice that a few things might happen. So don't have your knee bent or torqued a weird way. Really, you still want this knee perfectly above or stacked on top of that ankle. Heels are more or less in one line, or maybe you have your heel in line with the middle of your arch of your back foot. I've heard both ways, and really kind of both ways is fine. So ground down that back foot into the mat, ground down your front foot, arms elongate out. So this is your warrior two, and it can be a pretty intense posture because it's really a hip opener from the front. So wherever you are, just relax down for a second, and let's look at taking a little bit more of a shallow warrior. So typically, I think that how deep people can go in crescent lunges is not indicative of how deep you can go in warrior two. So sometimes you need to bring this back foot up a little bit. You can keep everything in one nice line. And if you need to do that, please do. That is totally acceptable. This is warrior two, holding right here. And in warrior two, there's other postures that you might get into, such as triangle, by straightening that front knee, bringing your right hand down, your left hand up, and back into warrior two. Bring your hands all the way down to the mat and downward facing dog. Pedal it out, move around, and then the next side. So left foot comes through, raise on up into crescent lunge, and ground down your back heel, opening it into warrior two. Again, if you need to walk this foot up, do so. This knee stacked perfectly on top of your ankle here, arms out. And maybe you do triangle, straighten that front knee, come on back. And then every teacher is different in how they transition from this pose. Some say windmill your arms down, and others say pivot back into crescent lunge and then put your hands down. So, whatever you're feeling. If you want to do the windmill thing, go ahead. If you want to come back into crescent lunge, go ahead. Either way, hands come to the mat, downward facing dog. So that is your basic warrior series. And one more thing I will say about warrior is that if you're doing it for the first time, it feels kind of awkward because you're not used to having such an opening happening from your hips. So wherever you are, you want to actually gently tuck your tailbone. So you're actually engaging your pelvic floor just a little bit. So you're very gently tucking that tailbone so it really opens up your hips from the front. And this knee being stacked above this ankle doesn't really happen from your knee moving. Rather, it's actually an outward rotation of your femur from this hip socket. I know it's weird to think about, but this leg rotates out a little bit, which opens up your hips a little bit more. And then you ground down through your feet, but you lengthen up through your torso as well. So your torso lengthens. You don't need to raise your shoulders up. It's just there's a big difference from being here and then being here. Arms come on out. So you'll find that in almost every yoga posture, there are a lot of things going on, and you'll just learn these with time. But for now, that's basically what your warrior looks like. If the instructor comes by and kind of moves your knee or, moves your hips or something like that in a posture, don't take it as a sign of like, oh, well, I thought I had it right, Sometimes they might be helping you actually deepen in the posture because you're doing it right, but you could be doing it better. And other times you actually might be doing it wrong. So it's a learning process is all I'm saying. So just stick with it. You're doing awesome. And I will see you in the next section. Thanks.